In this video, we're going to learn how to make an entire deck of cards vanish, except for the card the spectator is thinking. Okay guys, with this, it is more of an effect that happens in the spectator's mind, and it also happens with the spectator, so you have to actually have a spectator present to be able to perform the effect, because they need to think of a card and things like that. If I just performed it where I just named a random card, it wouldn't really do justice to what the effect is, okay? So there's two ways you can present this. You can present it as a pure card trick where you have a full deck of cards in someone's hand and they all slowly vanish except for one card, and it's merely the card they're thinking of. The other version is a mentalism effect where you come out and you say, I have a box and there's one card inside this box and I believe you're going to name that card. Let's see, or I'm going to try to send the name of that card to you and you're going to name it whatever kind of presentation you want to put on that. And I'm going to show you, of course, the way I do it so that my multiple outs work, and there's justification for that because this does use multiple outs, which is odd, but you can do multiple outs and still show the box completely empty, which is really cool. Also, you're able, when you do it as a card trick version, it's so neat because they actually will fill a full deck of cards in their hand. Okay, and this uses a really cool psychological principle, which I'm going to be teaching you. So let's get into the effect. So the first thing is your setup. What you're going to do is during performance, you're going to have them say a number from between 1 and 10, and that's actually the value of their card. Now, if you're aware of this, I'm not sure, but most of the time, when you ask someone to think of a number between 1 and 10, they go for 7. Not exactly sure why. Maybe it's because it's lucky number 7, or 7 kind of seems more in the middle. Maybe, I'm not sure, but most of the time people will go for 7. And if they don't go for 7, they usually go for 3. So we have our 2 outs, which are here, and I'll show you how this works. We have a 7 of hearts and a 3 of hearts. We're just going to equivocate them down to the 7 or the 3, or magician's choice them down to the hearts, okay? And I'll talk a little bit about how we do that and how we make it look like it's not equivocate or equivoke or magician's choice, okay? So we have a 7 and a 3, and on the back of the 7 I wrote off by 1. I'm not sure if you can see that too well. If not, I will actually put a close-up graphic of it, so don't worry about that. And then on the back of the 3 I have off by 2. Now you can switch those, it doesn't matter. It can say off by 2 on the 7 or an off by 1 on the 3, it doesn't matter. But what you need to do is put both of them together. Okay? And you need to have a box that you kept the cellophane on. That's very important, because to show the box completely empty at the end, you need to be able to open up and literally have it shown empty to prove that you did only have that one card in the box. So you're going to slip these in the cellophane so that the wording is facing upright like this. Okay, so that will sit there, and then I always pull the tabs off of my boxes. So I actually just put the tab here under the cards, okay, like that. So that's how I close it up, and then that just sits on my table, and this is usually an opener for my show. So if I'm doing a close-up show or something, I will open with this, because they can just walk out and this box is sitting on the table, and then I can go into the mentalism presentation, which is normally what I use, but the vanishing card trick version is really amazing too. So what I'm going to do is talk first about the multiple outs. So if they name any number from 1 to 10, how you can show it only having a 7 and a 3. So let's go into that now. Okay, so for the multiple outs, what you're going to do, I'm just going to get that off by 2 and off by 1, and that's where we're going to get into it. Now I'm also going to show you how you justify this off by 1, because it could just look like, oh, he's stretching, right? If I would have said 7, then he wouldn't have showed me that, right? So you don't want them to be able to catch on to the off by 1 or off by 2. So you give them a justification for it way before it happens. It's kind of like when people in movies, when they give out the exposition, you know, when they talk about something and then at the end, that's going to happen at the end of the movie, but they give you all the information of it in the beginning somewhere. That's basically the same thing we're doing here. We're justifying why this action is going to come up. If this situation does come up, we've justified it. If not, we don't worry about it, and it never comes back up again, and they forget it ever came up in the beginning. So to justify this off by 1 or off by 2, I will either I will pick a spectator, I'll have the audience choose a spectator, or I could do it by, throwing something into the audience, and whoever catches it is the person we use, whatever selection method you want to use. You have someone chosen, and you tell them that you're thinking of a number from between 10 and 20, you're going to try to send the number to them, okay? So you do your little acting gestures of sending the number to them, and you tell them to name that number that came in their mind. Now, whatever number they say, you just say one number ahead of that number. So if they said 13, you would say, oh, really close, I was thinking of 14, only off by 1. And that's where you're going to just say, oh, you were off by 1, I was actually thinking of 14. But actually, I think you'll be really good for this, so would you mind coming up and help me out with this? And that's how you get them up. And now, later on, if you have to use the off by 1 or off by 2, you can say, remember at the beginning when I actually think of a number and you were off only by 1, and I said, this might work with you? Well, guess what? I actually put the 7 in the deck, and you said 6, but guess what? I actually wrote on the back of the card off by 1, because I knew that you were going to be off by 1. And it justifies that idea of saying off by 1 because you've given that presentation, okay? So this is just a way to justify that by presenting it as in that way. So I'm going to go over all the multiple outs first, okay? So if they would say, and I always put the 3 in the front and the 7 as the back card, okay? And that's just me because, I don't know, that's just the way I like to do it. There's no specific reason why, it's just the way I like to do it. Now, if they would say ace, what you would do, or well, I wouldn't say ace because you're asking them to name a number. They don't even really at the time know they're naming a card value. They just think they're giving you a number, okay? And we'll talk about that in the presentation a little bit better. But when you do this, if they said 1, which if you say, when you ask for the number, if you say give me a number between 1 and 10, they're usually not going to say 1 or 10 because those are really your worst ones for them to name, especially 10, because then you actually have to show them 2 cards and you won't see that when we get there. But most of the time they're not going to say 1 or 10 because you said between 1 and 10, but just in case they do, we have an out for it. So if they say 1, which you would just say, oh, that would be like an ace, right? So I actually have, and you would just pull the 3 out and say, actually, make sure the 7 stays in, okay? You would open the box, open the box, pull out the 3, and say, yeah, I put a 3 in there before, but remember earlier when I said about you were off by 1, well, I thought you might be off by a little bit more than that, so I actually wrote off by 2 on the back of the 3. So that gives us 1, right? 3, 2, 1, off by 2. So it gives a really cool and neat look to it, even if it's in the card trick version where they all vanish, you pull it out and you say, oh, it's a 3, and you said the ace. Well, good thing we were only off by 2. And then you can show that, so it's really cool to do it that way with the card trick version. So that's ace. 2, again, you would pull out the 3, not show the back, and then you would just say, actually, it's a good thing you said 2 because I actually wrote off by 1. So you can show it, and that becomes now the back of the box. Okay? That's really cool. And in the mental effect, you can just say, well, it's really cool that you named 2 because I actually wrote on the back of the box off by 1. So that gives that 3. Obviously, you just show the 3, you're done, everything goes in. So for the 3, what you would do is just show the 3. You wouldn't show the box, right? You would just show the 3, and then everything would go into your pocket, and you're done. Okay? If you're going to do 4 again, really simple. You show the 3, and then show the box off by 1. That's 4. 5, you show the 3, show the back of the 3 off by 2. That's 5. 6, same difference. You're just going to pull out the 7 this time. So we have a 3. Now if you're doing it my way with the 3 in the front, if I can get this back in, you have the 3 in the front that says off by 2. So what you're going to do is pull both up and you're going to push the 3 back down, and then only pull out the 7. Okay, does that make sense there? So when I'm doing this and I'm pulling it out here, I'd be using this flap to guide it. I reach in, pull out 2. I push the 3 back down and pull out the 7. Now I say, well, it's a good thing I wrote off by 1 on the back. And there's the 6. 7, of course, you just show the 7. 8, 7, off by 1. 9, you show the 7, show the box. Now so the back of the box off by 2, so that's 9. And then for 10, you show the 7 and you say, actually, there's something else in there too. There's a second card. Because I thought you'd go a little bit higher, and then you show them 7 and a 3, that's 10. So the reason I really hope they don't go with 10 is because now I gotta pull out 2 cards, and it's kind of like, really, you said there was only going to be 1 card, so why is there 2? So I really don't like 10, but just in case they go for it, there's an out, but you'll never get them to say 10. I've done this a lot, and I've never had anyone say 10 yet. So, but just in case you do have an out for it. So if you're doing this as a card trick and you want them to actually feel the weight of a full box of cards in their hand, what you're going to do is you're going to ask them you're going to come out, and you're going to have someone come up and say, bring someone up to help you out. And I'll show you what we do at the beginning to pick out the cards. So when they come up, you have them hold up their hand, okay? And when they do, most people just hold up their hand right like this. You're going to sit the box on their hand, and when you do, you just lift their hand up a little bit. It is so weird, but just that little bit of lifting up on their hand will make it feel like there's a weight in their hand. So they'll feel this weight, especially if you tell them that they're if they realize that something's being put in their hand that has weight to it. This is a normal thing that's used on a side ball effect, where you pretend that you're making a big ball of energy, and you say, watch, I'm going to set this into your hand. You can feel that, right? And they would agree that they can feel the weight of it because they feel this pressure on their hand. All that is the fact that you lifted their hand up to where it's straining the muscles. And it does feel like that, especially if you believe this is a full box of cards. And I'll set this on somebody's hand. So their hand's here, I set it on, and I lift their hand up. And I say, okay, I'm going to set that box of cards on your hand. You can feel the weight of the deck, yes? And they'll say, yes, this is really cool because it adds that on to the rest of the audience. It's a full box. And so they make everything vanish. And the way I do that is I'm just going to come up and wave my hand, snap my fingers, do a magic gesture, and then I'm going to take the box off of their hand. I might not leave it on their hand the whole time. I might just do that, take it off, and then go down to the table with it. Just so that they feel this weight at least for a few seconds, and it will help them to really believe that that's a full box of cards. That's just a little subtlety that you can add in to really convince them that it's a full box of cards. So at the end, when the box has been sitting on the table the entire time, and there's nothing left but 1 card, they're going to be really amazed. So let's get into the actual presentation of how you would go about doing this, whether it's a mentalism or a card trick version, okay? So when you're performing this effect, if you're doing this as mentalism, I like to just, even if you're doing it as a card trick, you can really just leave the deck. I can leave it a little bit skewed on the table right there the whole time. So before my show starts, if there are people coming into the room or the theater or whatever it is, and they're taking their seats, and they see this just lone card box sitting here. This is nice because, like I said, I use this as an opener, so I can come out and they're wondering why the box is there, and I go right into why the box is there. So it's really nice for an opener. So you come out, the box is sitting there. As a mentalist, I would say, let me see if I can get somebody to help me with this. Let's see, you, sir. I'm going to try to send a number to your mind, see if you're a good receiver, okay? I'm thinking of a number between 10 and 20. I'm going to send that number to you now. And you would present it like that, as if you're sending them a number. They name a number. If they say 14, whatever they say, you just say that it was 1 higher. So they say 14. They say, that was really good. I was actually thinking of 15. So that was really good. You were only off by 1. But I think you'll work for this. If you mind coming up, give him a round of applause for helping out. So he comes up, stands next to you, and you proceed with the equivoke to get to the hearts, okay? There's many ways to do this. But I'm going to teach you the way that I usually get down to hearts. That makes it seem as if it doesn't make it seem like it's Magician's Choice or Equivocate, okay? So what I do is, as the spectator first comes up, I say, okay, could you just give me a number out? I'll just give you a number between 1 and 10. Any number between 1 and 10. And they give me a number, okay? Let's say, just to make this easy, we already went over all the odds, but let's just make it easy, say they said 7, okay? Which is going to be your most common answer. So he says 7, I say great. So in this box we have red cards and we have black cards, right? If you just say one of those, red or black right now, they say red, I wave my hand, they watch all the red cards are gone. Or I say, watch, all the black cards are gone. You said red, right? So I'll make all the black cards vanish. You do that. Other way you can do it is you can present it as kind of an adventure in their mind. You know, set it up as a story. One good presentation is to pretend that, have them imagine they're on a roller coaster. And they're going up this they're in a roller coaster, right? And they go up to the roller coaster and there's black cars and there's red cars. And they get into one of the cars. What car do they get into? Okay. Of course, we could go on a long time with this, but just real simple, if they got into the black cars, I would say, good, so you left the red cars there, right? So that means that the black cars vanish. Or I could just do the whole presentation through and then say, so you got into the black cars, leaving the red cars there, right? Then I would say, so you're going up this first hill before you go down over. You go up that first hill, and it takes anywhere between 1 to 10 seconds to get there. How long did it take? So that is the way they select their number, okay? So they say 7 seconds, right? Okay. Then you come down over the edge of the hill. You're so excited, your adrenaline's pumping really fast, and you get to the end and they actually snapped a photo of you. But they put a little frame around the photo. Now there's 2 frames there. The frame could either be shaped like a heart or shaped like a diamond. What shape does that frame take? Now if they say it took the shape of a heart, perfect. If they say it took the shape of a diamond, you just say, so you chose the 7 of, they say the frame took the shape of a diamond, which would leave us with hearts, just like we were left with the red card. We're now left with a red heart. And you said 7, so that's the 7 of hearts. Watch, every card vanishes except for the 7 of hearts. So you can perform it in that kind of a way, so it doesn't look like you, whatever they said, you went with it, right? You didn't say, oh, well, that one's gone or that one stays. So, but another way you could do it is just ask them. We have red cards in here, we have black cards in here. Name one of those, red or black. If they say red, you say, okay, red, so I just make the black ones vanish. You snap and the black ones vanish. If they would say black, you say perfect, black are completely gone, we're only left with red cards. So we have hearts and diamonds. Which one? Hearts or diamonds, just name one of those. And I say name, I don't say choose one or pick one or which one do you want to keep. Nothing like that, it's always just name one. So I say name one, hearts or diamonds. If they say hearts, very simple, I say okay, the diamonds are gone. If they say diamonds, I say perfect, the diamonds are gone. So it's still saying the same thing, but it's slightly different, right? So, because depending on what they say, I still have to make the diamonds vanish. So either way, the diamonds are going to vanish, okay? And then we're left with just hearts. And they say, you know, earlier you were asking to say, name a number from 1 to 10, you said 7. So to make all the hearts vanish except for the 7, just like that. And I was saying, you felt the box earlier and it had weight to it, yes? There was a deck in there. They agree. I say, take a look. Go ahead, pick the box up. How's it feel now? And I let them just pick it up and kind of drop it. They pick it up and they realize there's nothing in it. It's flat. This will blow them away. It's so crazy. When they do this and they're like, they know that there was weight to that box, which is really cool. So then you pick it up and you say, perfect. You said the 7 of hearts. Look, only one card in this box, and it happens to be the 7 of hearts. And you can see there's nothing else in the box. And you can show them the box is empty. What I like to do is I'll just take it out, show the box is empty, the box goes into my pocket, and I'm ready to go. I can even take this and actually just put it right in the inside the box, and everything's gone. Now, if you're doing this as a mentalism effect, you're not going to do this vanishing card as ideal. And it's really cool to do the kind of roller coaster version if you're doing this as a mentalism effect, because with mentalism you want to do more of like a reading type idea. It's really nice, and it kind of connects with them because this is really in their mind with mentalism. So that roller coaster idea really works well if you're using it as a mentalism presentation. Another way that you can do this for mentalism when you're doing this is you can do the same thing we did before, just ask them, there's red cards. Now this is, so what I would do, so what I would do is I'd come out with the box, is on the table, and I'd pick the person the same way. I'd ask them to think of a number from 1 to 10, tell them they're 1 off. I'd ask them, they'd come up, and I would say, give me a number between 1 and 10. They say 7. Okay? Perfect, 7. Dead on. We don't have to do any of the outs, right? 7. Then you say, I want you to imagine this is now a full deck of cards in front of you. Okay, now there is one card, and I'm going to try to send it to you, but I wanted to do it piece by piece. Okay, so imagine there's a full deck of cards in there. And if I asked you to name either red or black, what would you name? They say black, again, the same thing again. I want you to imagine that the black cards are completely gone from the deck, and you're only left with red. If they say red, okay, great, red. I want you to imagine that the black cards are completely gone, and we're only left with your red cards. So either way, you're vanishing the black cards. Same thing again. We're left with the red cards. We have hearts and diamonds in there. Just name one, hearts or diamonds? Diamonds. Imagine the diamonds are vanishing. Hearts. Imagine the diamonds have vanished and you're only left with the hearts. So either way, you're vanishing the diamonds. First time you're vanishing the black cards, second time you're vanishing the diamonds. The only thing with the second time is you're doing this in their mind, is kind of imagine that it's happening. They already know that there's only one card. You're not trying to make them believe that the deck completely vanished in the mentalism version. Then you get it down, there's only one card in here, you reach in, pull it out, you do the same thing, you pull out the 7, and you can show that the box is empty, and that's the effect. Hey guys, thanks for watching my video. If you want to continue on, please click on one of the videos on the side of me here, and check out one of my previous videos. And you can also click on that subscribe button at the bottom. That'll take you to my channel. You can subscribe to me, get the latest videos. Thanks a lot for watching, guys.